friends, my name is Cassie and today I am coming to you with a video all about packing tips. So as you are watching this, I will have been in New York for the past 2 weeks, but in my world, I am flying out on Saturday. So today I am starting the packing process. I would consider myself a fairly experienced traveler, as much as a 17-year-old can be. And over my travels, I've picked up a couple tips that really help me pack and travel more efficiently and get the most out of what I'm bringing. So I'm gonna go through some tips for you. Fair warning, this is mostly for plane travel as well as sort of longer trips, but of course these tips can apply to any trip you're taking. Let's get on into it. First off, and this is especially for if you are going on a long trip and if you are traveling carry-on only, which is what I generally prefer to do because checking bags makes me anxious sometimes. If you're going on a long trip and you're just bringing one suitcase, I always find it really helpful to get these little packing Ziploc bag things. So they look like this and they come in different sizes. This is a medium, this is a large, so just to kind of compare, this is the difference. And what you do is you put all your clothes inside of this and then you zip up the zipper and then you just sort of like sit on it and roll it and get all the air out, and it sort of like vacuum seals your clothes. And I tend to use the medium one because that's what fits in the suitcase that I generally use, but you can use, you know, whatever size you want, and I can generally fit 2 of these giant bags into my thing. There's also a small size, but my family doesn't have any. So you can find these at REI, and there's also a website called Eagle Creek. That's the brand that these are from, but I'm sure things like Ziploc has them and things like that. These come in packs, so you can get different sizes all at once, or you can get multiple of the same size, but I think they're generally about $8 to $10 a piece, but if you get it in the pack, it's a little bit cheaper. Going along with the same sort of theme, my next tip is to get a suitcase that is sort of soft and bendable and can expand based on what you're putting in it. If you get a hard shell suitcase, it's a little difficult to manipulate, but if you get something that is made of like a cloth material, you can really maximize your space and you can stuff it as full as you want. And I would also recommend getting something with lots of pockets. The backpack thing that I use is from Patagonia. I've used it on countless trips. I got it on sale. It's awesome. It's a little purple color, but I know that Rick Steves also sells one that has a ton more pockets, and my mom and my brother have that one and they both really like it. So there's a ton of different options like that, and it's perfect for a carry-on bag when you can, you know, stuff it full and maximize your space. Sorry about that. I just adjusted my camera. I realized I was getting way far down in the screen. As far as what you're actually packing, my next tip would be to pack basics. So this seems pretty straightforward, but I find at least when I go on trips, I tend to choose specific outfits and then I wear those things and I'm like, well, this doesn't go with anything else that I brought, so now I only have 3 outfits to wear. So for me, basics means packing things that are solid colors or patterns like stripes that go with a lot of different things. So that way you can wear one shirt with a pair of shorts, a skirt, and a pair of jeans. And you can also wear that skirt with 5 different tops that you brought. That way you are maximizing your space and you won't have to wear the same outfit a million times. Also, I would find out if you can do laundry because that will also factor in how much you're bringing. When I went to Europe for 3 weeks, we were able to do a little bit of laundry, but the next time we went on a 2-week trip, we didn't have any laundry facility, so I ended up like washing some of my underwear in the sink. You know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But since I'd packed basics, I was able to rewear a lot of my clothes that hadn't gotten sweaty or dirty or things like that. Clothes can be reworn, people. So the next thing that I have found useful on every single trip that I've ever gone on is to pack a pair of tennis shoes. Even if you're planning on just going on a tropical vacation, you never know, you might have to do a lot of walking or go to a dusty part of town or something like that where you don't really want to be wearing sandals. And going along with the basics theme, I would also recommend bringing a pair of tennis shoes that goes with a lot of things. So I always bring these black Nike tennis shoes. They're not really that athletic. They're kind of like good for going around town. They go with jeans really well. They can go with dresses with a cute pair of socks. They're just very comfortable walking shoes that go with a lot of things. These are just my go-to shoes that I always bring on trips. So having good walking shoes that you know are comfortable no matter where you're going is a safe bet. The next item of business is wearing your heaviest items on the plane. So again, this might seem like a well duh to you, I know it is for me, but I don't know, some people might not realize that this is actually a really good idea. Especially if you're going somewhere cold, making sure you wear your heavy coat and your heavy snow boots and, you know, your heaviest sweater on the plane is the biggest way to maximize the space that you have in your suitcase. You don't want to take up your entire suitcase with your heavy jacket and then only be able to pack like 1 pair of pants and 1 shirt. No, just wear wear it on the plane and you can take it off once you get on or use it as a blanket. If you wear layers onto the plane, you can take them off in flight and then, you know, it's like having an extra suitcase on your body. Another thing that I think is kind of obvious, but sometimes I get lazy and don't do it, is to make a list. Generally, I really like making lists on paper because that's just how I work better. But when I'm making lists of things to pack, I do like doing it on my phone, just in the Notes app. That way I can break things into different categories, I can move things around or add to the categories if I think of something else and it's not as on paper as on paper. I usually make a list on my phone and I just sort of make different categories. I put little emojis and I always put little squares, and then once I've completed something I change it to a check mark. And that way it's really easy to just list everything that you need. Even listing the most obvious stuff like toothbrush, toothpaste, hairbrush, you know, write everything on your list. That way you know you won't forget anything. And I generally start writing my list about 3 days before I start packing. That way I can, you know, be checking the weather, making sure that I'm not forgetting anything, and I can add over the days before I go on my trip. And my final tip, especially if you're going on an airplane or changing time zones drastically, is to take care of yourself. When you go on an airplane, there are all sorts of bacteria and icky people and sick people, and it's just a very enclosed space, especially if you have a long flight. You're breathing in the same air with the same people for a long time, and that's kind of gross. So something I like to do is to take emergen-c right when I get on the plane, and then every morning on my trip, just to get a little bit of an extra boost in my system. Also bringing hand sanitizer, making sure you're getting enough sleep the night before your flight. Just generally take care of your body, eat right, and of course that's a good tip for life in general, but especially when you're traveling to a new place, you never know what kind of situation your body might have to accommodate for. I know when I go to dry places, I always get nosebleeds and I just generally have a more rough time, so drinking water is really important. It depends on where you're going, but it's a good idea to just take care of yourself in general. Alright everyone, I think that's going to be it for this video today. I hope you learned something new and some of these things might help you out. If you didn't learn anything new and you knew all of these, congratulations, you're a great traveler! Of course there are other things that help other people and some of these might work for you, some of them may not, but these are just some things that work for me. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out my vlog channel. I vlog at least once, usually twice a week. I have a blog about my happiness project that is always linked down below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it so that I know I'm doing something right. And if you have any videos that you really want to see, make sure and let me know down below because I am open to suggestions. I have a bunch of ideas, but I also want to be making things that will help people and not just saying stuff that no one's gonna listen to or really care about. And with that, I'm going to bid you farewell. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you do something that makes you happy and feel alive, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye!